Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Hello and welcome to round 12 action of the Senol NPL Victoria Women's live from Lakeside Stadium. I'm your commentator Daniel Christie, bringing you this exciting Saturday afternoon clash between South Melbourne and Melbourne City. Without further ado, the lineups for today's encounter, starting with the host South Melbourne. Number 1, Geo Candy. Number 2, Isabella Wallhead. Number 5, Sophie Papazanis. Number 7, Francesca Lamano. Number 8, Alana Byrne. Number 9, Grace Taranto. Number 14, Misha Westland. Number 19, Tyler Vlanich. Number 21, Heidi Dalton. Number 23, Emily Roach. And number 24, Emily Collier. And for the visitors, Melbourne City, number 5, Heidi Dry. Number 8, Chelsea Biggs. Number 11, Sienna Calvanese. Number 12, Mary Brown. Number 13, Maya Capitanio. Number 14, Ellie Kirkby. Number 18, Ella Hamilton. Number 19, Jamie Marandola. Number 24, Cornelia Loss. Number 26, and in goals, Anastasia Kiriasu. And number 30, Daniela Trincic. The match will be officiated today by centre ref Jackson Trundle, the assistant referee Liam Robinson, paired with Lauren White, and the fourth official Labrini Uliaris. Cool, overcast conditions, as you can see here at Lakeside Stadium. Temperatures around 16 degrees. And a steady south-westerly breeze across the ground. A little bit of light drizzle may be expected today. But overall, the pitch, as you can see, is in immaculate condition, as it usually is here at Lakeside Stadium. South Melbourne, as we can see, are in their all-blue strips, kicking from right to left. And the visitors, Melbourne City, in their all-black, kicking from left to right. Kick-off moments away here at Lakeside Stadium. It should be a fantastic encounter. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It'll be interesting to see how Melbourne City line up. I can see already a change. Cornelia Loss in central defensive midfield there as the game kicks off here this afternoon. Wallhead back to Candy. Tries to find Collier, which she does. And Jamie Marandola offering superb pressure from the outset. Collier serves it in, and it's fierce in the back. Jackson Trundle pulling up a free kick on Daniela Trincic, who's paired in centre-back today with what seems to be Ella Hamilton. And Sienna Calvanese at right-back with Heidi Dray at left-back. So quite a fair few changes, not just for Melbourne City, but for the home team as well, and I'll get to that in a second. Great play out on the right-hand side there from Emily Roach, finding Lamano. Right in the corner on the right-hand side, Lamano cuts in, crosses on her left, into the box. But it's somewhat dealt with. Really looking for Heidi Dalton, number 21, offering the central presence there. Kiriasu already trying to play out the back. We've seen this happen time and time again this season. Westland with the header into Emily Roach, who has a half volley from outside the box. So good early pressure there from South Melbourne. It will be interesting to see how can Melbourne City break down this South Melbourne pressure. We know they like to play out the back, building up, usually through their midfield. This time it's a trio of Loss, Biggs and Mary Brown. Kiriasu attempts to play Calvanese out on the right. Doesn't quite get there. Marandola keeps it in. Plays it back to Calvanese. Into the feet of Brown. First time to Marandola. It's great play there. Doesn't quite find CC Loss bursting through the middle. Lamano 1v1 with Dry. That's a matchup to keep an eye out for today. Alana Byrne to Taranto, bursting down the right, as we know she loves to do. Great cross in. Oh, and it's just over the head of Tyler Vlanic. Misha Westland plays it back to Collier. Oh, back to Westland. Great play. Great ball across the box. Oh, just evading the leg of Lamano. And it's well pulled up by Lauren White on the far side there. The assistant ref recognises the touch, points for a corner. And South Melbourne continue their early pressure with inside the first 3 minutes. Interesting to see a change for the host. Alana Byrne, usually playing centre back, has been pushed up higher into the midfield today, as Vlanic has to grab the ball for the corner kick. It'll be in-swinging on her preferred left, Vlanic, with the arm up. Quite a lot of numbers around the box, as we can see, crowded around the keeper. Ball comes in. Oh, and it's just wide from the head of Warhead at the near post. Inches wide, and that's going to be a key threat for them today from the set pieces. If you didn't know, coming into today's fixtures, South Melbourne coming off a 0-0 draw away to Keilor Park last week. Emily Roach thundering the crossbar and post on numerous occasions, but couldn't quite break through. Whereas Melbourne City, on the other hand, the visitors, coming off a 9-3 loss at home to Heidelberg. Don't see that scoreline very often. Dre, out on the left, gets her head up. Kirkby with her first touch of the game, trying to put pressure on Lamano. Lamano does super well down the right-hand side. Pushed by Kirkby, but it's play on into the box, and it's a goal. Heidi Dalton opens the scoring inside the first 5 minutes after some great play down the right from Lamano. Just wouldn't give up. Great advantage, it must be said, by the certain referee, Jackson Trundle, letting the game breathe, letting the opportunity come to fruition, and it's buried by Heidi Dalton. Melbourne City, again, a little bit guilty of giving up the ball a little bit easily out on the left-hand side and not really recovering position as they kick off again. Loss into Biggs. Back to Trincic and Hamilton. Great ball from Trincic down to Marandola, who's chasing it, but Collier gets her body in the way and will let that go for a goal kick. Experience, solid defending there from Emily Collier. The Duracell battery of this South Melbourne team, up and down the left-hand side constantly. Candy urging her players to push up the pitch as South Melbourne want to continue the pressure they've built on early in this game. Good pressure there by Heidi Dalton. 1v1 here. Enters into the box, Heidi Dalton. It's a great tackle there from Daniela Trincic, after the ball just skips over the head of Sienna Calvanese. Collier to serve the ball back in. Trying to pick out the head of Roach, but cleared away. And it'll be another corner for the hosts. It was Wallhead with the header only a couple minutes ago that just went over the bar. And they've even got two on the edge of the box, if you can see there, Marsha Westland and Lamano, just creeping out the back. Emily Roach to swing this one into the box. It's a little bit further away from goal than she would have liked, but it does spill out to Westland, who will hit it first time. Kiriasu does well with the bouncing ball, gobbles it up on the second attempt. And Melbourne City will look to play out through the pressure. What does Kiriasu do this time? Looks longer, but can't get over Collier's head. Back into Vlanic, does well to be able to serve it in to Dalton, Roach, and out to Lamano. Great play from South Melbourne. Lamano was looking for the run there. Couldn't quite see it. It'll be great to see more of Chelsea Biggs, Mary Brown, CC Loss get on the ball, get their foot on it in midfield and play through the lines into the pace they have up front. It's undeniable. Kirkby, Marandola, Capitania up top. Skewed by Kiriasu though. And it's a clear grab there from CC Loss on Roach. And Trundle will call it for a free kick. About 23 yards out from goal on the left-hand side. Tough angle to shoot from. It wouldn't surprise me, especially on a slightly wet pitch, if she can just drop it in front of Anastasia Kiriasu. Could cause a lot of havoc. Otherwise, the predictable ball in the box will come. What does Roach have in mind here? Roach steps up. Looks at goals. Kiriasu again there to deal with it. But it will go down as another shot on target for South Melbourne in the opening 10. Oh, it's given away there. And Roach to finish. And it's 2-0 to South Melbourne. Daniela Trinchit will want that moment again. Trying to play the ball inside, but it was cut off and buried by Roach. They need to be able to bounce back here to visitors. Chelsea Biggs does pick it up, tries to find the run of Capitaneo. Biggs turns out, doesn't quite find the pass that she wants, and South Melbourne on the break again. This time through Dalton, who tries to find the run of Lamano, but Kiriasu does well to slide out there. South Melbourne again applying quite a high press. Just wanting Melbourne City to be able to play in areas where they can isolate them, press them, and win back the ball quickly. Trincic does play Capitaneo. Loss out to Brown. Back into Loss. Can they get it out wide? They try to. It's just come off the heel of Brown. And Hamilton will give it to Heidi Dry. Back out to Brown. And unfortunately turned over. Oh, it's spilled out to Capitano, who's appealing for a free kick. Doesn't get it. Roach. Sophie Papazanis starting today. Into Byrne, who tries to find the winger, but it's cut off there by Sienna Calvinese. Back to Kiriasu, who puts her foot through it. And Papazanis does her best in trying to keep the ball in play before pushing the ball out with her left foot for a throw-in on this near side. So 12 minutes in. South Melbourne 2-0 up. 2 early goals to Heidi Dalton and Emily Roach. Calvinese into Chelsea Biggs under a lot of pressure there. And South Melbourne will rescue possession back again. Taranto into the feet of Roach. Tries to find Lemano. Comes off a City midfielder and out for a South Melbourne throw. And Grace Taranto on the far side will serve the ball back in. Great play there from South Melbourne. Good little combination in the midfield. Papazanis gets her head up. Plays Collier. And South Melbourne will look to break City down on this left-hand side through Collier and Vlanic. Westland pokes it through to Roach. Back to Vlanic. Tyler Vlanic on this left-hand side. Well corralled there by Calvanese. And it's deemed to be a goal kick. And even though it looked like Sienna Calvanese did really well there to actually get goal side and get a toe and poke it away for a corner. Not seen by the officials. Ella Hamilton plays it to Kiriasu, and again Melbourne City look to try and play out the back. This time through Marandola out on the right, but it doesn't quite get to her, and it comes straight back through Heidi Dalton, 1v1. Oh, and it's just wide of the upright, and Kiriasu says, "Where are you? Where's my defenders?" The pattern of this game seems to be continuing in this first 15 minutes. And look, if Melbourne City can manage to play through this high press of South Melbourne, then chances will open up. They leave a lot of space as a result of this high press. This time fizzed into Chelsea Biggs. Can't quite get a hold of it. Roach, 1-2 with Westland. And Byrne again tries to find the winger, but doesn't. Does win back the ball, though, well from Brown in the midfield. And again, South Melbourne push numbers forward. Westland out to Collier. Beats Marandola. Emily Collier tries to find Vlanic, but the run and the pass just wasn't aligned there. But so far, good passing combinations by the visitors, either through midfield or out wide. Calvanese does well to beat Collier. Goes down, appeals for a foul, really, but doesn't get it. Goes out for a throw to South Melbourne. Collier, great throw in to Dalton. 1v1 in the box again. Cuts inside on her right, shoots. Great save, Kiriasu. Falls back out to Roach, who plays it out head into the path of Byrne. Does well to take a touch. Low cross. Blocked by Dre. And Melbourne City have some space to attack here. Brown tries to find Heidi Dre out on the left, but the pass doesn't quite come off. Maya Capitanio does well to press the goalkeeper. Superb sprinting effort. Collier does well to get that one down twice on the head to Vlanic. Gets her head up, left foot cross, and it's a beautiful left foot cross, by the way. Looking for Dalton at the back post. It would have been a sensational goal if she managed to connect to it. But South Melbourne showing some diversity to their attack. They can build it up short, fast, on the ground through the midfield, or they can counter-attack with speed, as we saw there. Great touch by the left-back Collier, number 24 for South Melbourne. Just before, Capitano muscled off it by Byrne. And South Melbourne have clear possession here with Wallhead. Plays it out to Lamano. Great skill. Little 1-2. Lamano out in the right. Can't quite keep it under control. And it's Hamilton who comes across, sweeps up, and plays it for another throw-in. Taranto emerges with the ball. Great defending there by Dre. Lamano takes a touch inside her man with her left foot, hits it towards goals. Lamano, I think the celebration says it all. I don't know if she was meaning it, but it was a great hit nonetheless. The ball going over the head of Kiriasu, not much that she could really do with that. It just nestled in the top corner to make it 3-0 to South Melbourne with just 18 minutes gone on the clock. It was a great touch initially from Lamano to take it inside. It was Mary Brown offering the press, and then with her left foot dinks it into the far corner of the net from range, and South Melbourne go again.
South Melbourne, Francesca Yamano.
Roach out to Lamano again, who's proven a handful for Heidi Dry so far. Heidi Dry does really well there, though, to tackle her this time, and the ball goes out for another corner to South Melbourne. South Melbourne really looking to put pressure on the 4 teams above them. They sit in 5th place at the moment. 6 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses, undefeated at home this season. It was always going to be a tall order for the visitors, as Vlanic will cross this one into the box from the corner. Comes in, met on the head, and saved really well by Kiriasu. I think that was Taranto with the header. Trincic now operating at what it seems right back. Loss has gone into centre back, and Capitanillo has gone into the defensive midfield position. So Melbourne City ringing a raft of changes after those first 3 goals. Can it offer them maybe a little bit more stability as Chelsea Biggs gets her head up? It is a great ball to Calvinese on the right-hand wing. Tries to play it back. Mary Brown picks it up. Half volley on the left from a very long distance. Falls out to Kirkby. Haven't seen much of her until now. Ellie Kirkby with the first shot off for the visitors today. And it's easily dealt with by Gia Candy. Vlanic advancing. Plays Collier with heaps of space out in this left-hand side. Cuts in. Tries to beat Trincic, who does well. Now operating in that right full-back position. As I was saying before, a win here for South Melbourne would do no harm for them to keep pace with the leaders of the competition so far. They, so far this season, have 20 goals leading into this game. 8 goals against. Their defensive record is actually the best in the league. 4 wins in their last 5 games, with that 0-0 draw last week being the only blemish on their record. Swung into the box by Emily Roach. Kiriasu tried to come out and fisted away. Hard to see there. I'll need the replay to see who actually had the last touch of that. But it's 4-0 now to South Melbourne. Proving hard to deal with from corners. It was a great ball into the box at the near post with pace on it. And if anything, it's either an own goal or a goal by Tyler Vlanic, who rose higher than Kiriasu to put it in the goal. Melbourne City have got a lot of work to do. Marandola trying to apply pressure on the South Melbourne duo, almost tackling each other there. Maya Capitaneo does really well using her body. Now can they be able to play out from this position? CC Loss gets her head up, wants options, tries to play a little bit longer, comes back to him via the feet of Biggs. Great little turn from Chincic and finds Calvanese, who's come inside off that right-hand touch line. And Melbourne City now starting to play it around with a little bit of intensity and some accuracy. Unfortunately, that ball just skips ahead of Marandola on this slightly wet pitch here today at Lakeside Stadium. 23 minutes and change gone in this first half with South Melbourne making a
South Melbourne.
fantastic start to this game.
Roach.
Seems like the ground announcer has given that last goal to Emily Roach. Not 1,000% sure on that on replay. Vlanic 1v1 with Trinic, gets it into the box. Defended well by Dre. Collier dances between two. Emily Collier across the box to the back post. And it was a tap in there for Lamano, but it's ruled offside by the assistant, Lauren White. Collier, an absolute force down the left-hand side so far. South Melbourne usually operate in quite a rigid 4-4-2, which is possibly what's yielded them such a good defensive record so far. Tough to break down, work extremely hard off the ball. And these 4 goals today will certainly go well towards their goal-scoring record for the season. And they look like they want to score more as well. Collier advancing, playing it out on the left. To Vlanic. Gets the ball into the box. It's another good ball from Vlanic. Lamano couldn't do, despite her best efforts, to keep it down on target. This combination between Collier and Vlanic on this near left-hand touchline certainly causing headaches. Would cause most defences in the league headaches. Kiriasu finds the head of Biggs this time, who does well to get in front and flick it on. But again, the ball comes back. Collier. Again to Vlanic, but just not on the same wavelength this time as the ball rolls out for a goal kick. South Melbourne have done well to share around the goals, not really relying on one individual to get the majority of them, with Misha Westland, their top goal scorer, with 4 goals. Collier slips it into Roach, who cuts it back. And Heidi Dalton finishes from about 3 or 4 yards. It's 5-0 now. Couldn't miss that opportunity, really.
Goal to South Melbourne, Heidi Dalton.
Second goal today for Dalton, already on a hat-trick within the first half hour. Capitaneo picks it up, turns, and now it's up to Melbourne City to be able to break through from this part of the pitch. Brown picks it up. Dre gets a head up, tries to play down the line. Can't get it over to Ranto. Mary Brown tries to slip it through. Marandola, the ever-willing runner. Heidi Dray to serve it back in, as she does. Trying to find the feet of Marandola. Well cleared. Capitanillo does well to get there, but not the best to direct her pass, and Papazanis has time on the ball. Well pressed by Marandola. The referee doesn't give it. Jamie Marandola had space to run into there, but decided to take the early shot. Trying to catch Candy off guard. Westland picks up the ball in midfield. Ball goes out for a throw-in. Melbourne City putting a little pressure on now, which is good to see. Dre trying to find a target. Doesn't. And it's neat and tidy. 1-2 out the right-hand side. Roach finds Dalton in behind. Gets her head up. Only one in the box. Beats her defender, but unfortunately runs it out. And that's all it takes. Little 1-2. And with a lot of space to run into, South Melbourne, that's where they've been extremely dangerous, or ultimately punishing turnovers. Kiriasu decides that she's had enough of the short game and will put her foot through it and gets about 40 yards on it. Over the top of Collier's head. And a change of hands in possession. Ends up with Collier out on the left. Great throw into Dalton. Tries to flick it on, but Melbourne City recycle possession. And again, that's where they just need to be a little bit tidier. Finding that pass playing out the back. Roach out on the right. Cuts it in to Westland. Again, clever first time pass across the box. Vlanich plays it into Dalton, wrestling with CC Loss there, who does extremely well to just kick it out into touch for another throw-in on this near side. Ball comes in. Dalton into Byrne, who appeals for a corner. She's saying that it makes a very clear touch. Trundle's not happy. Tells her to relax. Would be a hard job telling Alana Byrne to relax. He does his best. After what seemed to be a skewed, wayward, half-volleyed effort. Maybe it did take a touch. I couldn't quite see. Kiriasu can't clear Byrne, and it comes back again. Out this time, wide. Dalton pushing Dre over, and it is correctly awarded the free kick, and they play it quickly. CC Loss gets her head up. What can she see this time? Trying to find Capitanillo, which she does. Can they try to find Mary Brown? Can they try to find Biggs as well in the midfield? They find Brown, 1-2. And it's stolen away, but it was good play, good intentions from the visitors. Biggs with time and space in the midfield. She hasn't had much of it. Gets her head up and tries to play the run of Calvinese. Swallowed up by the goalkeeper. If they can be able to find Chelsea Biggs and Mary Brown to feet in behind the space of the midfield, but in front of the South Melbourne defence, that's where the space is to operate and actually create danger. There it is right there. This time it was Sienna Calvinese operating in a number 9 position for now, swapping with Marandola, which is where the ball will go towards, but doesn't quite find her. And Gia Candy with a rare error. Intelligent little backheel there from Kirkby. Little 1-2. Fires off a shot, and it's a goal. Ellie Kirkby with a great shot on her left foot from about 25 yards out. An intelligent little backheel earlier in the build-up to actually create that goal. And then she catches Gia Candy off guard to make it 5-1. Well done there from Melbourne City, and a great goal.
Goal to Melbourne City.
Vlanic playing it down the line to Roach, 1v1 with Biggs, who does well, and that time it is a corner. Looks like Roach wants it short. Plays it to Collier with her left foot, gets it in from a deeper position. And the header goes over, unmarked again. The header, I believe it was from Isabella Warhead, who is just an absolute menace in the box. Again, another unmarked header. Kiriasu with the longer kick. Loss. Biggs. Back down into Roach now. Trying to turn her man. Vlanic to Papazanis. Out to Wallhead and out to Taranto. Great play from South Melbourne. Left to right. Trying to find the inside pass, but cut off. And now Melbourne City are on the break here. Biggs trying to find the run. And it's been on a few occasions now, eager to play that pass in behind. And it's just rolling through. A little bit more patience from Melbourne City in that final third. Cutting off by Kirkby here, who will have another shot. Doesn't quite make it past Papazanis, who clears. And to Lamano on the far side. In right back position now. Plays it into Westland. Into the feet of Roach. Westland, Papazanis. Great play here from South Melbourne. Roach turns. A lot of time to operate. Plays Taranto, who's made a marauding run into Dalton, but it is offside. Did have a hint of offside to that. But South Melbourne, when they get the ball on the ground and play, they're certainly hard to contend with. Loss. Can't beat Collier. Gets it again. Kiriasu plays her nearest option in Hamilton. Robbed off it by Roach, who won't be able to retrieve. Dalton and Roach so far, absolute pressing their hearts out, doing a really good job of suffocating Melbourne City and making it really difficult to them. And then when the ball does come into midfield, you've got Westland and Byrne really creating a wall that makes it hard for anyone to get past. Collier out on this left-hand side, throws it in to Dalton with her back to goal. Lost keeping her for company. Goes over a little bit easy. Melbourne City do get a deserved throw. That throw did look slightly suspicious, but she gets away with it. Westland into Vlanic, tries to play it first time, gets lucky, then plays it into the back of her teammate. Collier picks it up, driving down the left-hand side. Referee not interested in anything besides awarding a goal kick. Again, Emily Collier with not a lot of defensive responsibility today. has a lot of energy to be able to get up and down attackingly on this near side touchline, proving an absolute menace for the Melbourne City right-hand side so far. Vlanic, another great ball into the box. Perfect ball. This goes right out to the back to Lamano, to Roach, who squeezes it in at near post, making it a sixth goal for South Melbourne. But it's a great ball from Tyler Vlanic. Can't take anything away from the ball. Could have been tapped home earlier, but it's skidded off the ground to the back post,
Roach,
where Lamano was able to find Roach on the cutback, and she wasn't going to miss from there. Cries of keep going from the Melbourne City goalkeeper, Anastasia Kiriasu, urging her teammates ahead of her on for the last, what seems to be 5 or 6 minutes of this half. Taranto on the ball. Does well to turn past Kirkby. Not without a grab, but it's a great ball in behind the Melbourne City defence, but mopped up on this occasion. Loss pumps it back up the field, but no one's there. Biggs with a cushion header. Down the line. Awarded a throw to Melbourne City on this near side touchline. Hamilton now slips out of her hands accidentally. Lamano, the beneficiary, plays Roach, cuts inside, outside, inside. Like a dance routine there from Emily Roach. Cleared away by the Melbourne City defence. Jackson Trundle offering a little bit of humour into the game for the South Melbourne ladies as the ball comes out to a great goal from Heidi Dalton from outside the box. That might be the pick of him. Heidi Dalton just picked it up from the throw-in. A lot of time to get the ball out of her feet and fire a shot over the head of Kiriasu.
Goal South Melbourne, Heidi Dalton.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's her hat-trick. A great goal there by Heidi Dalton, but offered ultimately too much time at the top of the box to be able to take that shot. Loss does well to beat her man and find Marandola, but Papazanis with an offering there dispossesses her. Roach to Taranto out on the right hand side. Sorry, Lamano. Kirkby does well to twist inside two and play it to Heidi Dre, who will go back and they'll recycle. When the pass ultimately to Ellie Kirkby on the left-hand wing could have been on there. Loss. Swivels, turns. Great little pass to Chelsea Biggs, who has plenty of time to operate. Tries to play Kirkby on the far side, who might get there. She does, but is unable to keep it in. There's an inventive idea from Chelsea Biggs. had she carried the ball forwards a little bit more, she might have been able to get a shot off herself, which I could have said on potentially 2 or 3 occasions throughout this first half. But instead she tries to pick out the pass, and on this occasion doesn't come off. But that's what Melbourne City need more of, as Candy belts the ball back into the play, swallowed up by South Melbourne midfielders, and they get the throw in. Players waved on. Mary Brown here, space to operate. Biggs to Loss. Loss will try and get her head up and find someone, but doesn't. And Collier puts her foot through it. Again, CC Loss offering the pressure. South Melbourne have the ball now. Another change of hands in possession. And it ends with Kiriasu. CC Loss trying to play in behind. But again, Papazanis first 1-2, and Candy with her left foot skews it a little bit, but it goes back to Papazanis. South Melbourne can build up through Collier into Dalton, playing fantastically so far in this first half, really proving to be a handful. Melbourne City so far come into this game in 13th place. 2 wins, 0 draws. As the ball was given away there, Kiriasu does fantastically well. She'll earn a goal kick here, or she should anyway. In the end, the centre ref calls for half-time in this game between South Melbourne and Melbourne City. And so far, it's been an absolute masterclass from the hosts here at Lakeside Stadium.
Half time at Lakeside.
The score, South Melbourne
7,
Melbourne City 1. We'll be back soon. Thank you very much for joining us so far. Hello and welcome back to the second half of action here live at Lakeside Stadium for round 12 of the Senol NPL Victoria women's game between South Melbourne and Melbourne City. South Melbourne currently 7 goals to Melbourne City's 1 in the lead, and will be looking to continue their free goal scoring form in this second half. It seems as if both teams are potentially making changes. I can see number 4, Danielle Wise for South Melbourne, preparing to come onto the field. In the place of who, I'm unsure. I'll let you know in just a minute. And it seems like it is number 19 coming off the field, which would be Tyler Vlanich, who had a fantastic first half. And then Ella Hamilton and Daniela Trincic coming off the field for their replacements. So a couple changes in the defence for Melbourne City. It looks like Liliana Lamage will be coming on, as well as Gia Capsamalis, number 16, for Melbourne City. Jackson Trundle with the whistle in his mouth blows for the start of the second half here at Lakeside Stadium. Loss plays it into Capitanillo, and Lamage occupying a central defensive position. Super versatile is Liliana Lamage. I've seen her pop up at left back and right back, this time in centre back, next to Loss. And some good early pressure there. Lamano cutting the ball back, but Capitanillo is there to clear, but won't go any further than Lamano, who cuts it back to the substitute. Danielle Wise with her left foot blazes over the bar from not too far. And it looks like Wise will be partnering Emily Roach up top in that 4-4-2 formation with Heidi Dalton, the hat-trick scorer, shifted out to the right, with a midfield base of Byrne and Westland still for South Melbourne. And Lamano has been shifted out to the left-hand side. So a couple of changes for South Melbourne and also Melbourne City as Marandola attempts to press. Dre plays it into Kirkby, 1v1 with Taranto now. Does well to play inside to Mary Brown. Flicks it on again to Marandola. Clever there, but just didn't get the luck. And Jackson Trundle gets his first touch of the game. Waves play on, the centre ref, who's done well so far. Heidi Dre tries to beat Heidi Dalton, but no luck this time. And Dre will be able to take the throw for Melbourne City on this near touchline now. Kirkby, the sole goal scorer for Melbourne City in the first half, with a great effort with her left foot outside the box. Westland does well there, and so does Wallhead into the feet of Taranto, who drives inside and switches the ball out to Lemano, who was an absolute threat in the first half. Collier overlapping, takes a touch all the way to the byline. Sliding attempt to get there. And the ball goes out for a goal kick to Kiriasu. So, as I was saying, towards the end of the first half, Melbourne City come into this in 13th place with 12 goals for and 41 against. Last win in round 9 versus Bentley Greens. It was a 5-win, 1 at home. And as we said, their last game last week against Heidelberg finished in a 9-3 loss. As we see Roach with a great shot from well outside the box, goes over the head of Kiriasu. An audacious attempt.
Goal South Melbourne, Emily Roach.
That makes it 8 now for South Melbourne. Just seeing it here on replay, Kiriasu gets distance from the goal kick, but once the ball came inside, it was again swallowed up. Referee played advantage and Roach cut in on her right and shot the ball over the head of the Melbourne City goalkeeper. From a healthy distance, here she is again, picking the ball up for Lamano. Well done there from Capsamalis to turn away from the heat of pressure. Ball comes in to Capitiano, who's done extraordinarily well. We've torn her back to turn away from the pressure. South Melbourne are just swarming that first pass into the midfield every time, making it really difficult for Melbourne City to come out. Collier tries to find Westland, gets it on the return, but it spills all the way through to Kiriasu, who again gets distance on it. But there's no target there to be able to hold it up for Melbourne City once it does get up to that end of the pitch. A little bit of miscommunication there between Hamilton and Loss. Ends up with Loss just pushing her man over. And it'll be Emily Roach from an almost corner-like position to be able to serve this one back into the numbers in the box. It must be said, Melbourne City are missing 4 key players, which I'll get to in a minute after Roach serves this one in. Oh, and it's just cleared away. Only as far as Westland on the left. Great save by Kiriasu to palm it round the post. After a goal line scramble, it only went as far as Misha Westland at the top of the box. Already 4 goals to her name this year. Fired off an intelligent inside of the left foot half volley, which Kiriasu got 2 hands to and was able to palm it away. Great shot, great save. But South Melbourne continue with the pressure. Roach with another ball into the box. Met by the head of Taranto. Another great save by Kiriasu. Grace Taranto with all the time in the world to head it down into the ground for it to bounce up, aiming for the inside netting of that near post. But Kiriasu again does well to meet it. 3rd corner in a row. Roach delivers. Again, South Melbourne get the first contact. This time, Alana Byrne cleared. Down the line. Marandola gives chase, as she's done all day. She keeps going, Jamie Marandola. Candy chips it to Westland, flicks it out to Taranto, who tries to find a runner, but it only goes as far as Lamarche. Roach, quick throw. Finds Wise. Back to Roach. Taranto gets her head up. Half interested in trying to play it in. Intercepted there by Wallhead into the feet of Roach. Westland. Byrne. Back to Papazatis, who's barely put a foot wrong all game. Taranto picks it up. And they've got plenty of time and space to be able to play through Melbourne City out to the right. Great ball into the box. Kiriasu Gets a forearm onto it, and it's just enough to be able to squeeze it away from the danger. Superb ball into the box there by Wallhead, who has been operating in a right-back position so far at the start of this second half, swapping with Taranto. I don't know if that's just a change for the meantime or a permanent one. Capitiano does well to receive it. Played out to Loss, who loses it, trying to beat two. And the ball goes out for a Melbourne City throw-in on the far right-hand side. So those 4 players in question that are missing were called up for the AFC Under-17 Women's Asian Cup held in China currently at the moment. So it's Daly Gore-Birchmore, the goalkeeper, Kira Saris, Kaya Jugovic, and Isabella Racco, which causes havoc for the Melbourne City coaching staff over the last few weeks, trying to chop and change the starting lineup, introduce new young players as the ball comes to the top of the box. Oh, Misha Westland off the bar. Oh, and it's saved. Heidi Dalton on the rebound. Came off the crossbar, and then Kiriasu got a piece of it and was finally able to clutch at it. She's had a fantastic start to this half, Kiriasu, with some great saves. She's going to have to make another one, which she does. Great save. Palming it over the bar in what I believe is only her 5th game. Anastasia Kiriasu filling in for Daly Gore-Birchmore, who, like I was just saying, is away on international duty. So those under-17 girls gives you an idea of how young this Melbourne City team really is, but also gives you an idea of the talent they have at their disposal, doing their best to stay competitive in this league while their key players are away, as Emily Roach will serve in another corner on her right foot. This time it'll be straight at the goalkeeper, Kiriasu. Trundle sees something that he doesn't like, points for a free kick, and Melbourne City get some reprieve. Back to the under-17 junior Matildas. They are into the quarterfinal versus Vietnam on the 11th of May after beating India 2-0, drawing 1-1 with Lebanon, and then last night, unfortunately, going down to a superbly talented Japanese team 5-0. But with those 4 points in Group B, we're able to finish second and now have a chance, if they do beat Vietnam, to qualify for the next Under-17 Women's World Cup. So good luck to those girls over there. As Westland, back to the action, fires off a shot outside the box. Another great save from Kiriasu, out for a corner. South Melbourne really wanting to put numbers on the board to bolster their goals for column, which leading into the game was 12 goals less than Bulleen Lions, who were on top. We'll get to today's action in a minute from other games as Roach crosses it in, goes over Lamage's head, but Misha Westland is out the back. She'll serve it back in. It was an incredible effort there from Wallhead, I believe. Audacious to be able to almost chip that one first time with the inside of her right, scooping it, trying towards the back post. Very inventive. Loss. Does really well and does find Marandola on this occasion, who, if the pass had been better, would have been able to release Calvanese on the right. Collier again bursting forward. And the linesman puts his flag up for offside there on the far left-hand side. Trundle The centre ref giving a free kick to Byrne, who plays it quickly to Wallhead, who's backing centre back now. Taranto back at right back. Trying to find Westland again, who made a darting run into space. Dre attempts to try and play forwards. Wallhead can't keep it in, and Melbourne City gathers some ground. So in the other games that have been played in the Senol NPL Women's Victoria so far this weekend, we had 2 games last night. Box Hill United defeating Kalo Park 2-0 at home. And Bulleen Lions squeezing past Spring Hills 1-0. Alamein United currently 2-0 up against Melbourne Victory. With the game at Heidelberg United between Essendon Royals kicking off at 4:15. Daniel Wise made a fantastic run down the right and shoots, but Kiriasu there to save. Wise with a fantastic run down the right-hand side, but wasn't able to arrow her left-footed shot past the goalkeeper as Lamage plays it to Dre, who does well to turn, and with her left foot, play to Marandola's feet, lays it off to Brown, and it's great work from Westland all over it, like she has been all day. And Capitiano drags down Roach, who actually took it upon herself to pick up the ball and almost forced Trundle into making a decision. Capitaneo having a few words to say with the centre ref, unhappy with that decision. Byrne takes it quick. Out to Dalton, 1v1 with Kirkby, who does extremely well. Plays it into Dre. Kirkby again tries to play inside. The ball was a little bit too firm. Mary Brown. Marandola with a great idea. Trying to play it out to the right where Capsamalis has taken position. Westland. Time in the midfield. Plays it into Roach. Out to Byrne. And then to Collier with space to drive into. She keeps going. Plays it out to Lamano. Attempts to cut it back, but loss is there to sweep things up. It's good body work there from Byrne. Melbourne City urging themselves to press higher up the field. Roach, great turn, great ball into Wise, but there was a suspicion of offside, which the assistant referee has done well to be able to flag that one. And it looks like South Melbourne are making 3 changes now, really rotating the legs. Looks like Isabella Wallhead, Misha Westland is coming off alongside Francesca Lamano.
Substitution here. Coming off is Misha Westland, Franny Iamano and Bella Wallhead. And coming on is Raquel Delaris, Chiara Veronopoulos and Alexis Pandazopoulos.
Duranos, Ronopoulos and Pentazopoulos are the 3 replacements, freshening up the midfield. And then it looks like Duralis will take up a striking position next to Wise up top. And it looks like there's a change for Melbourne City as well. Might have just missed that one. An absolute host of substitutions made there. Looked like it was Layla Habib there in the midfield with her first touch into the game. Comes out right, and it looks like it could be a penalty. Waved away from Trundle. Cries from the Melbourne City bench. On first look, it did look like a foul. As it was great work from Layla Habib, who just came onto the field. Melbourne City have it out on the right. Great skill there. And a left-footed attempt to Marandola. Spills. And it's a goal. Jamie Marandola gets her first. And Melbourne City second. After a little bit of chaos in the game there for the last 60 seconds. Great take there from Marandola. And I'm just seeing a replay of the penalty. And it does look like Emily Collier did get more ankle than she did get ball. And Melbourne City end up getting the goal they richly deserve after a great passage of play there. Ellie Kirkby on this near side applying pressure. Layla Bibb has come on with plenty of energy. Doralis. Dalton cuts in on her left. Great save from Kiriasu. Not wanting to risk having to grab onto anything. Wet, slippery ball, wet pitch. Totally understandable, and she's made a series of good saves to be able to keep the scoreline down. 64 minutes and change gone if you just join us here at Lakeside Stadium. Score is 8-2. The visitors with a healthy lead. Roach with another corner. Cleared away in 2 attempts. Marandola plays it out wide. And Captain Marlis gets her head up. Returns it to Marandola, but well covered by Collier. Doing fantastic to sprint the distance of the pitch to cut off that pass. But Melbourne City looked like, by all money, they were on there for another goal if the ball had been squeezed through to Marandola. Collier clears for a throw-in, and Melbourne City have applied a bit of pressure here. And since making those changes after the concession of the 4th goal in the first half, they have been somewhat more solid and being able to get 2 more goals on the scoreline. Taranto tries to play a delicate little passing side. Cut off by Kapsamalis into out wide into the box. Candy fires up the pitch. Oh, it's a hefty challenge there from Calvanese on Dalton. I might have just mistaken the identity for a player here for Melbourne City. Gia Kapsamalis has come onto the midfield and out wide. Just trying to get a check on the number. It is Eva Chopin, who has come on that right-hand wing and was involved in the play across the last couple of minutes. This has been quite a number of changes here, but still the shape remains. Capitaneo at the base, with Kapsamalis and Habib coming on into the midfield. Chopin, Marandola and Kirkby up front. Layla Habib on the ball now with her sweet and silky skills. Out to Calvanese, who tries to find Kirkby. Kirkby does extremely well, but ultimately South Melbourne come out with possession. Dalton plays a short pass. Wise chips it Great header there from Lamage. Right place, right time. Roach shovels it out to what looks like Duralis, who, definitely gives away a free kick there. Clip of the ankles, little push. And the game has certainly become a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more open as legs tire and the substitutes with fresh energy come on to disrupt the tempo of the game. That certainly has what has transpired. As Duralis just needed to get a head up and play the right-hand side there. And Dalton was through. Melbourne City win the ball back. And it's a good-looking ball out to Kirkby, who opens up her legs, but Papazanis is able to clear the danger. So it seems like Sienna Calvanese has gone out to left back with Lamage and Loss as the two centre backs. Gavanese's done a fantastic job of the athletics track there to chase down the spare ball. Throws it in to Marandola. Out to Habib. Kirkby. Out to Calvanese, who was unceremoniously pushed onto the athletics field there, as we can see. Getting a couple pats on the back from the South Melbourne defenders. She did extremely well to try and cross it in with her left foot. And then off balance, rolled off onto the grass. "20 minutes to go. Candy with a long bomb into the midfield. Chopin, great little bit of skill, plays it inside to Capitaneo under the ferocious press of the South Melbourne midfielders, and it spills out to Duralis. Out to Collier, who's been marauding down that left-hand side all day. Ball comes in. Loss clears with their head. Capitaneo again plays it on. And it's a misplay shot there from outside the box from South Melbourne. Their first attempt in a little while. Melbourne City doing quite a good job to be able to hold them out. Capsamalis now finds Eva Chopin, closed down by Roach. And Roach will play it all the way back to Taranto, who plays a long straight ball right up the pitch. Dealt with easily. Maya Capitiano with her back to goal. Does well to use her body. Good display of strength and skill there. Loss. Plays it out to the right back. Again, first time up the line. And that's where the play seems to be breaking down in this second half as Melbourne City try to escape the pressure of South Melbourne playing out the back. Taranto plays it behind Papazanis, who had made the run forward. Galvanese throws it into her bib. Back to Marandola. Great little touch from Layla Habib there. Marandola forces it through to Capsamales, who has Taranto for company. Oh, Grace Taranto does fantastic to win the ball back on 2 occasions. And South Melbourne comes storming up the pitch here with Pantazopoulos. Pantazopoulos serves it back to Collier. Into Roach. And it looks like Byrne has returned back to her centre-back position. Papazanis now on this right full-back, playing it to Dalton. Marandola with the ball at her feet. Lays it off to Calvanese. Spreads it out wide. Eva Chopin now, 1v1. Doesn't quite beat Collier. Collier has the ball now and will return it back into play. Marandola has had a lot of the ball but not always able to get it under her spell. And South Melbourne are on the attack here now, coming down the left-hand side. Wise, 1v1 with Loss. And it's a bit of pushing and shoving, and Trundle, centre ref, gives the free in the favour of South Melbourne. Perhaps a little bit of frustration there coming out in the Melbourne City defence. And similar to the first half, Roach has the opportunity with the ball approximately 25 yards away from goal, but on a tight angle. Will she elect to shoot towards goal or play it in? And she does a mixture of both, hoping for Wise to get a foot on it. But Kiriasu claims Melbourne City will look to build out the back again. Lamage, first time to Calvanese. Gets her head up. Has to play backwards though. Well pressed by South Melbourne. Lamage trying to thread the eye of the needle, but Emily Roach, who's intercepted it, it feels like a number of times and should get a free kick there. Liliana Lamage trying to make up for her error. And South Melbourne will have another chance to test the Melbourne City goal, who you must say have done quite well, and technically, in this second half, have the game at 1-1. Much of that to do with Anastasia Kiriasu, who's been fantastic in goal in this second half, repelling the efforts from South Melbourne on a consistent basis. She'll have to do the same again here. As Emily Roach awaits the whistle, approaches the ball, swings it in, met by the head of a Melbourne City defender and cleared, and ruled for offside. Defended well there. Kiriasu into play. Loss, who's done that a number of times, beating the first pressure, but the touch sometimes eludes her. This time she gets away with it. They will try and play through the midfield as much as possible, Melbourne City. Lamage. Calvanese does well to body her man. Oh, Dalton now finds out on the right, cuts it back. It's a goal line scramble, hard to see there. And Bibb rescues it. It was Rodopulis with a fantastic run through the middle there to actually create that chance, as Papazanis does what she needs to do by coming across and tapping it out for a throw-in. Melbourne City doing a far better job at defending those direct free kicks and corners in this second half. Calvanese down into Marandola. Marandola again, clever over Papazanis, who does foul her. Fantastic little skill, flicking it over the top and running around the other side. And Papazanis felt that she had no choice but to go to ground and foul her. And now Melbourne City have a free kick in a very dangerous position. Again, a little bit wider than you would typically like, but from this side can cause chaos either with an in-swinging or an out-swinging delivery. It looks like Capitanillo is over this one and will either try and clip it into the back post or fire off a shot at goal herself from this range. What will she fancy? Capitanillo with the shot. Straight at Candy, just bouncing in front of her. Who rolls it out now, and Roach on the ball, plays it forwards into the path of Wise. Marshalled well there by Hamilton. Doralis on the angle. Has it again, Doralis. Lamage does fantastic to defend. In the box. Bodies there. And Kiriasu claims. And quite a weak attempt at goal. Kiriasu tries to clear halfway, only as far as Collier. Great tackle there by Chopin, who gets her head up and tries to advance down the line, but Taranto's there. Change here. Ellie Kirkby off, coming on for I'm not too sure who's coming onto the pitch. But Kirkby, who scored a great goal. It's Joanna Zois, who has come onto the place of Kirkby as Trundle awards a free kick to South Melbourne. Marandola still pressing hard, chasing down everything. Done a fantastic job in doing that today. Deserved her goal. Doralis plays it out to Pentazopoulos, who's got the running. Plays it across the box to Dalton at the back post. Should have been a goal. Skews off her boot. Not what she would have wanted, but great run there from Pentazopoulos down the left-hand side. Capitiano plays it out wide. Chopin looking for the run there from Calvanese, but didn't quite get it. Collier darting inside, drags the ball back, and then plays the only pass that was on to Roach, who does well between two players just to squeeze out Great performance from Emily Roach. Pantzopoulos cutting inside. Pantzopoulos with the shot. Deflected into the hands, but ruled off for offside. Both South Melbourne attackers, Doralis and Wise, going into an offside position as Pantzopoulos drove into the middle of the pitch. Number 21, Heidi Dalton, did a fantastic job today.
Substitution, South Melbourne, Heidi Dalton coming off, and making her senior debut for South Melbourne is Daniela Squadrito at the age of 16 years old.
Well, if you heard the ground announcer there, he pronounced it superbly. Daniela Squadrito coming on for her debut. There's a lot of young players out on the pitch here today, it must be said. Ronopoulos ends up fouling Habib. I believe Ronopoulos has come onto a right-back position so far, which is not where you would expect her, but again shows the versatility of the South Melbourne team. They've been able to rotate. A lot of players today making quite a fair few changes from their 0-0 draw last week away from home. Taranto away. Pantzopoulos with pressure. Kapsamalis will do well to try and keep it in, but she doesn't. Ball comes back into play. Pantzopoulos will be keen to get on the score sheet. Tries to play Doralis, but the ball will roll all the way through to Kiriasu. Chopin. Eva Chopin out wide. Tries to turn Collier. It's a hard task though. Emily Collier, very experienced defender. Played superb today. Had to do what she needed to do defensively, but when she's gone forward, always provided a threat. And she'll return the ball in again. Lost with the clearance, only as far as the thrower, Collier. To Pantzopoulos, into Doralis. Turn, swivels. Out wide again. Really trying to break him down, and it might have been a clip on the heels there, which centre ref Jackson Trundle has seen and pulled up. South Melbourne again will have another direct free kick, which for the most part Melbourne City have repelled quite well in this second half as time ticks closer to the end of the game. Less than 4 minutes to go, with any stoppage time to be added on. Roach to serve in. Assesses her options. The ball comes into the box towards the back post over everyone. And out for a goal kick. Again, well defended from Melbourne City. Ball goes short to loss. But again, not able to quite build up in this scenario. And South Melbourne will be more than happy to have possession returned. They've really shown a good mix today of experience, hard work, but skill in possession. And ultimately, some deadly finishes. Heidi Dalton's arguably, in the first half, one of the better ones. Lamano as well. Her cross-come shot goal comes to mind. Doralis looks for the run of Roach. Great ball in with her left, in all fairness, but no one there. It'll spill all the way out. And it's great play there from the substitute. Squatrito cutting inside and delivering a ball into the box. Ronapoulos plays it to Papazantis. Chopin plays it inside to Bib, looking for the ball of Marandola, but she probably wasn't quite ready for it or thought she was in an offside position. Promising little attack there from Melbourne City. Alana Byrne calling for calm in the midfield. Doralis, it's 3v2 here. She wasn't quite able to get it out of her feet. Would be disappointed with that one. Kapsamalis out to Chopin. Again, we'll go 1v1. Not afraid to try and take on Collier. And she does get a great ball into the box. No one there between Marandola. Oh, ruthlessly pulled down to the ground. Trundle will have no problems giving Gia Kapsamalis her first slice of cheese at this level. The ball just slipping away there from number 12, Kiara Ronapoulos. The fourth official waving up her board. 1 minute to be added on in this game. Is there any more goals? Doralis beats Kiriasu and puts the final goal in the back of the net for today. Raquel Doralis, fortuitous at the ball, came in her position, but great balance to be able to take the ball past the oncoming goalkeeper and slide it into the back of the net with the inside of her left foot. It's been 9 well-worked, well-deserved goals from South Melbourne. A very similar scoreline to last week, really. And Melbourne City would be hoping to get their star players back as soon as possible. But the centre ref calls a conclusion to this game. It was always going to be tough for the visitors coming to an unbeaten fortress that it has been for South Melbourne here in round 12 of the Senol Women's NPL Victoria. I'm your commentator, Daniel Christie. Proud to be bringing to you this game live today, this Saturday afternoon, in which was a fantastic day for the host, South Melbourne, beating Melbourne City 9-2. Look forward to seeing you guys again very soon. Thank you very much.